This is my Audi RS7 that I've had for 1 year now and driven for 10,000 miles. I figured it would be the perfect time to do an owner's review, what my take is on the RS7, what it's been like to own, what it's like to drive, what are the pros and what are the cons of owning an Audi RS7. Now I have done a dedicated video, actually 2 dedicated videos of some not good things about the RS7. So if you want to check those out, I'll link it in the description. Not going to talk as much about negatives in today's video because this is an awesome car. I absolutely love it. It pretty much checks every box. It's fast, it's luxurious, it's got a lot of room. It actually has very good fuel economy for a 700 horsepower car. It sounds amazing. And did I say that it was fast? It's really fast. So my car is a first generation RS7. So it's a 2014 model year. It's a C7. And in stock format, this 4-liter twin turbo V8 puts out 560 horsepower, crank numbers that is, and 516 pound-feet of torque. Now my friends at Velos Design Works in Miami tuned this car, so I'm guesstimating that it's around 700-ish horsepower that this car puts out, as it has a full exhaust from Frequency Intelligent as well. It's made into an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's not a dual clutch, but it still shifts pretty freaking quick in manual mode. It also has all-wheel drive, so it makes for very interesting 0 to 60 launches. So since this is a first-gen Audi R7, I'm sure it's not the first time you're seeing one. Now maybe you're watching this video because you're in the market for one and you already know this, but I have to mention it because it is my car and it's one of the reasons why I bought it as well. It looks so aggressive from the front. I absolutely love the styling of a first-gen Audi RS7. Actually better than the second-gen, although the second-gen is pretty much better at everything else, but I still think the first-gen looks the best. Now in original spec, this car came with these stock RS7 wheels. However, the previous owner cracked one of the wheels, so when I bought it, it had a different setup, which I didn't like at all. So I actually found these on eBay and I bought them used. I think it's some of the best stock wheels in this class of car that you can buy. They look phenomenal. They look really good on the road, and it just suits this car. So like I said earlier in the video, this car checks pretty much every box. It has a lot of power, it has all the luxury, and it has a lot of room. So even in the trunk, even though it is a hatchback, you can fit a 6'2" bald Swedish guy. Not that you should, but you can also fit a lot of golf clubs. Now it goes without saying that there's plenty of room from the driver's position as well. A lot of headroom. Again, I'm 6'2". Although I would wish that my car had the Audi sport seats with the nice quilted stitching and so on, my car has the comfort package, if you will. So it comes with cooled seats and massaging seats as well, even though both of those features absolutely suck in this car. Now, if I try to get in behind my driving position, it's not too bad. And it's actually not horribly bad with headroom either, with this being a hatch and it's got that slanted roof line. I do okay back here. Now the main thing about an R7 is obviously the performance and how it drives and how quick it is and what it sounds like and so on. But we'll address one thing here that I've done a dedicated video on already. But this is a common Audi problem. So if you're in the market for one of these, or not even an R7, maybe like an A4 or an A7 or S7, you might end up having a problem with your fuel door not wanting to open. And then the emergency latch not working, and then you're stuck and you can't even get the fuel door open to refuel, and it's horrible. But if you want more info on that, I'll link that video in the description. I'll put it up here in a card as well. But mostly everything with an R7 is absolutely awesome. It's got soft closing doors. It has night vision, every thinkable feature, backup camera, front camera, 360 camera. I mean, it is really jam-packed with everything, and it is crazy fast. So let's take it out on the road. So one of the first modifications I did to this car was this carbon fiber steering wheel, and I got this from Carbon-tastic. and it feels great. It's matte carbon, it's got a white little stripe here, and then this Alcantara here for the main 9 and 3 position. And it's just so much better than the stock one, which was a lot thinner. It just didn't look good, didn't have a flat bottom. Then we've also lowered the car. It's got some 15mm spacers up front. It's got 18mm in the rear. And then, as we mentioned, we have the tune from my friends at Velos Design Works in Miami. But the main mod to this car is the straight piped exhaust from Frequency Intelligent. I mean, this thing just sounds so good. So initially, you know, I figured all-wheel drive, a lot of power, it's gonna be perfect for grip and a lot of good 0 to 60 times, perfect launches, and so on. But even when it was still in stock format, it would struggle with traction, and it's even worse now, obviously, when we have a tune. So one time I've managed to get this car to 60 in under 3 seconds. With the stock tires that are on here, which are Pirelli P0s, and they're 275s, it struggles for traction, man, even though it is all-wheel drive, or quattro in Audi language. So earlier we did some launches. Check this out. So yeah, as you guys can see, it struggles for traction at a launch. And it goes without saying this car has launch control, and to do launch control is actually extremely easy, and the system works really well. So you got to put it in dynamic, and then that actually lowers the car slightly, as the car has air suspension. And then what you got to do is you got to turn traction control all the way off. Otherwise it doesn't work. So the car obviously doesn't want traction control nannies to be messing around when it's trying to launch. So it's pretty free-flowing, but with the stock wheel and tire setup, and you have a tune, it doesn't matter if it's like today, for instance, 79 degrees. I've been driving around, the tires are, you know, warm enough, they're over 100 degrees. It still doesn't grip. So I am convinced that this car can definitely get down to at least 2.6 if it gets proper grip. And I also have to launch it in manual, because I've noticed if I have it in automatic, the transmission, it's a little flaky. So, you know, it's hard to time the shift, as, you know, it's not a dual clutch. So you have to kind of like think before red line and shift. And I mean, it's tricky. Even though the launch control system is phenomenal in this car, it struggles for traction. But it's a very, you know, interesting experience. It's awesome to drive this car, especially during launches. And I just love it. But again, as I've mentioned a couple times in this video, this car is the best of both worlds. That's right. So when you want it to be really fast and aggressive and just performance driven, an Audi RS7 can be just that. You put it in dynamic, since it has air suspension, it'll be completely slammed and you can do what you need to do. Now, if you want to drive it on the highway, have it in comfort mode, it is the perfect highway cruiser, as it is German, and Germany is the home of the Autobahn. So German performance cars are supposed to be fast and comfortable at the same time. So as we mentioned, the car is fully straight pipe from my friends at Frequency Intelligent, and while it can be kind of loud and drony on the highway, if I push this button right here, I'm downshifting, you can't even hear it. It's completely quiet. It's more quiet than it was stock with the, you know, the original exhaust system on there. So that is what I love about this car, and you know, German performance cars, because they're the full package. They're aggressive, fast when you need them to be, and then they're completely subdued, quiet, and great just highway cruisers. Now, another thing that I absolutely love about this car, and which I usually hate with any other car, like my F-150 for instance, is that this car has a cylinder deactivation system. But in this car, you don't even notice it whatsoever when it's activating and deactivating. In my F-150, it was extremely noticeable. It was audible, and it was awful. This car, you don't notice it at all. I'm gonna open the valves again. So why is that great? Well, because when you're driving on the highway and the cylinder deactivation system activates, you can actually get over 25 miles per gallon on the highway. And this car is big, heavy, you know, German sedan again, with almost 700 horsepower, and it gets 25 miles to the gallon. I mean, again, best of both worlds. It's just, I love this car. It's amazing. And it sounds so good. And the specific part that we're driving right here is just the tarmac. It's awful. It's always loud driving here, so it's not like the tires or, you know, the car emits a lot of road noise, because it really doesn't. It's just right here, it's bad. It has active aero, so when you're going above 85 miles an hour, little spoiler in the back will raise up, which just makes the car look better, especially since it has that slanted hatchback look. You get a lot of car for the money.
That's right, for a car like mine. So it's a 2014. I bought it with 67,000 miles on it. It almost has 77,000 now, so I put 10,000 miles on it. The only main issue or problem that the RS7, at least of this generation, is known for is the oil screen recall. But for a car like mine, with the mileage and the year, even though it's fully loaded, you can find one of these around $40,000. And again, it's a lot of car for the money. We're just talking stock format, 560 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. Amazing performance. This car did 0 to 60 in 3.4 when it was stock. You get 25 miles per gallon on the highway. Every luxury feature, pretty much, that you can think of. A lot of space, a lot of comfort, amazing looks. I mean, what else do you want? 40 grand is a great deal for a car like this, used, that is. I'm not selling mine quite yet, but possibly to the spring. I might be looking to switch it up. But the thing is, I don't know what can replace this in the price range and give me more than what I already have in an RS7. You guys know I'm an AMG guy. I would pick this over, let's say, an E63 of the same year. This car, in my opinion, is just better, although I like AMG more than I like Audi. If you're in the market and you're watching this video, in my opinion, go for it. You're not going to be disappointed. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's review. There's a lot more that can be said about this car, but I don't want to stand here and babble on for too long. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you have any additional questions, leave them in the comments below. Stopping by for the first time and you haven't already and you want to, please subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.